Hello everybody, Timothy Bailey with Project Learn, and our video for today. Well, it's Friday. It's early on Friday, but it's still pretty much the weekend. So you know what that means. It's time for Friday Funnies, and it's our time to laugh and learn a little bit of English. All right, so the question for you again, are you ready to laugh? Let's go ahead and start. So the first one here is a rather simple one. We have just a picture, and then we have a sign here with some English words. So we have to start by thinking about what's happening in the picture. And we're using, like often happens, things that are not alive, right? Such as these toilet paper rolls. And here's the website where I got this from. So we have these toilet paper rolls here. Right, and obviously they have faces, arms, and legs, so we're sort of giving them a persona. We're giving them life, right? We are personifying them, let's just say. So looking at them, you can also see this one's a little bit thicker than this one, so maybe this one is younger, right? This one is older. It's been used up. We all know what toilet paper is for. And then this one here, right, has no paper on it. It's just the cardboard tube. Okay, well, that's not funny by itself, so there must be something about this. We know what happy means, right? It's the weekend. I just got an A on my test, whatever. I found some money, right? I'm happy. But what about retirement? Well, retirement means when you finish your working career. Whether it's one job or whatever. I worked at this job for 30 years. Now I am going to retire. I'm going to be done working. Okay. So in the picture, who is finished working? Who is done? Well, this guy, right? He has no more paper, right? Or she, right? We don't really know, right? This toilet paper tube, the roll, has no more paper. They are all finished with their job, right? So the other two, right, are cheering for this toilet paper tube. Happy retirement. All right, let's try another one. So we have two characters again here. They have faces, right? And the first one says, let's slow down for a second here. And the second one says, we better just stop right now. So this one is sort of punctuation language humor, I guess we could say. So we have to figure out what these characters are. Well, this one's easier, right? What does it look like? Could look like two things, right? It could be an apostrophe, which is up high, but it's the one that's down lower, the one we call a comma, right? A comma. So the comma says, let's slow down for a second here. That would make this one the period, right? The period. And this is a good, funny way to remember what those two punctuation marks do in our language, right? Well, the comma slows you down, right? Just like the character here is saying, let's slow down. And what does the period do? Well, the period stops you, right? Just like this character is saying, right? Stop right now. Okay. So this is what these two punctuation marks, particularly in written English, but we sort of have them built in our spoken English as well. Let's look at an example. My friend, Sen, is from Vietnam. Right, so I make a small pause here and here when I say her name. But here, before I went on to the next sentence, I'm going to make a complete stop, right? That is the purpose of these two punctuation marks, right? So often happens in cartoon pictures like this that are funny. We give life and personality and human characteristics and thoughts to things that aren't alive. Try another one. So you see the man here. There's a cherry, and he's got some chocolate sauce here. He's writing a note. Help, I am stranded on a desert island. Right? Now you might think it's funny right away just because it looks like he's sitting perhaps on ice cream, right? On a sundae, we would say, and that's funny. So again, identifying the words where the humor might be. Well, you're probably going to look at this one first, right? Dessert. And this word, what does it mean? Well, dessert is something like this, right? Like this cake, like this ice cream, right? Pudding, things like that. Things we eat after dinner or perhaps even lunch, right? But look at the other word, stranded. What does it mean to be stranded? If you look at the picture, what else can we say about the man in the picture, other than the fact that he is sitting on ice cream? We can say he is by himself, right? Unless there's somebody behind the giant cherry, we see nobody on the island with him. He is all alone, right? So stranded, then, draws our attention to another word, a word that actually students often get confused with this word, although the spelling is slightly different and the pronunciation is different as well. And that word is this, desert, right? And a desert, when we normally think of it, we think of the place with the hot sun and the sand and the camels and not a lot of green vegetation, that sort of place, right? The Sahara Desert, the Gobi Desert, we think of that. But with the ed, deserted, such as the man here on this island, here as well, also means to be stranded, right? Stuck somewhere with no help, nobody around, by yourself, right? So the man is stranded on a deserted island, not a deserted island, not a desert island, right? So a slight difference there. Let's try another one. So here we have, again, two characters talking. Gary, you need to be less selfish. Remember, it's cactus. Actually, sweetie, the plural is cacti. And then it says down here, Gary, the grammar cactus, will never find love. Right? So, you know, it's a grammar language joke here that we are looking at. So what words should we look for? Well, you can notice these are special. They're bold, which means they're darker here, right? This is probably the unknown word, so that's a good place to start with the cactus and the cacti. And if you go to the internet and you type in exactly how this is, cactus, you will find something like this, right? Looks very close, very much the same as these guys, right? And what is this thing called? Well, it's the same. They just aren't splitting it to focus on this. It's a cactus. Okay? So other than the fact that the cactus here is talking, both of them, not really funny. So there must be something else. Well, we also look at this word, right? This might be an unknown word. What does selfish mean? Well, selfish means focused and concerned with only yourself, right? Me, my stuff, don't care so much about you or other people, right? So if we go in and we look, right, Gary, you need to be less selfish, less focused on yourself. Remember, it's cactus, us, right? A group of people. But then Gary, right, says, no, 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 no. It's cacti, cacti. I, me, selfish. Right? Why is that funny? Well, because cacti is actually the plural, right? Plural for many of these, right? Many individual, right? Cacti. Right? Funny there. Let's try another one. You can't run through a campground. You can only ran because it's past tense. So what words are we looking for, right? Well, we're going to look for tense, right? That might be a word we need to focus on. Here's the tense, and here's the tense. We didn't talk about campground, but a campground is where you go camping, where you put your tent, right? In this case, there's a lot of people. We also have the word run and the word ran. You can't run, you can only ran. The focus on these words with you can't do this, you can only do this, sort of draws our attention. They must be important somehow. What is run? Well, run, the present tense of this activity, right? And what is ran? ran the past tense of that activity. Okay? So what about this down here? Past tense, because it's past tense. Well, look at how they sound. Not so much how they spell. Past tense, past tense. They sound pretty much the same. So past tense, these things that you live in temporarily when you're camping, sounds just like what this word is, the past tense, not the future or the present. Right? So you can't run, right? You can only ran. Here are a couple links with some more great puns and visual humor that involves language. I hope this is a great start to your weekend. Have a great weekend and remember to laugh. Bye-bye.